everybody. Welcome to another episode of NalaTalk with me, Dr. Esther, one of the doctors here at Nalagenetics. Today, we are joined by our lovely Ping, who is in Singapore at the moment. Ping is our product manager for the Nala mobile app, which is called Personal Health Manager. Hello, Ping. Welcome to NalaTalk.
Hi, Esther. Thanks for having me here, and thanks for the introduction. Yeah, so my name is Pingasari. People usually call me Ping. I'm the product manager for the Nala mobile app, which we call the Personal Health Manager. And the app is currently available both in Indonesia and Singapore, and in the Google and Apple App Store. So maybe I can give an overview of what is this mobile app.
Yes, please. Yes, by all means.
Yeah, sure. So the purpose of the app is actually part of the bigger purpose of Nalagenetics, which is to make personalized patient care accessible for all. It is one of the three pillars, the first two of which is genetic testing service, as you all might already know. And the second one is clinical decision support, which we will cover a little bit later on. So as a third pillar, the mobile app is actually designed to engage patient throughout their diagnosis as well as therapy journey. In a way, we want to also enable patients to take active participation in their health journey by collecting real-world evidence and converting that to like actionable insights and recommendations for the doctors as well as healthcare practitioners. In that sense, also the mobile app enables a more holistic view of the patient journey because it is with the patients all the time, and patient could report their medication adherence or their symptoms at any particular in time through the app. The end result that we're looking from this mobile app is actually to influence better health outcome for them. And you can think of it more of like an input-output device to the recommendation system that we have through the CDS and genetic testing service.
Great. Wow. Thank you for such a great that you explained that in great detail so that people would know what the app is all about, and also sort of a broader picture that it is part of the three pillars, as you mentioned before. And so it is to also encourage active participation from the customers, as well as equip the doctors to have resources available at their disposal should they need to consult from their mobile phone. So maybe can you explain a little bit about how to download the app? That's one. And two, where in the whole process of the customers purchasing the genetic test to getting the report that they should download the mobile app? Like, where would it fit?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll go through the second question first. So the app is actually available for our pharmacogenomics patients at the moment. And in particular, we have been engaging our tamoxifen breast cancer patients from, I think, since 2019 via the app. In the future, we are also looking to engage our COVID-19 patients via the app as well. And how to download the app? There are three ways to do it. Firstly, you can download the app with the QR code below, and also through the by searching Nala Personal Health Manager in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. It is, again, it's publicly available, so it's not limited to patients. Non-patients could also use it. Are features that you can find useful for both user types. And the third way is you could visit our website, nalagenetics.com, and the link to download the app is also there. So those are the three ways. Yeah, and I think after you download the app, you will be asked to enter some data just for security and privacy reasons, and you also be prompted to do a email verification at this point in time and two-factor authentication. I think I will also explain later on why we have this maybe extra secure way of logging into the app, and yeah, I think that is how you could download the app and start enjoying the benefits of it.
Great. So it looks like it's quite easy to download, and there's a number of ways that you can do it. and it's publicly available for both Android as well as iOS users. And I think you mentioned that currently we're using it to engage our tamoxifen people who are enrolled in our tamoxifen study. And for those of you who don't know, so we are looking at people with breast cancer that is currently receiving tamoxifen therapy with the help of our pharmacogenomic tests to sort of genotype and phenotype so that we can see how efficacious their therapy is. And one of the follow-up tools that we have is via the Nala app, right? So maybe can you explain a little bit more about how you go about doing so to follow up?
So for tamoxifen patients, I think how they have access to the app is like after their genetic test report, pharmacogenomic test report is out, one of the Nalagenetic doctors or the patient care manager will actually contact them to do a post GC or post test genetic counseling, and during that process, the doctor will actually help the patient to download the app for future follow-up. And within the app itself, there are a few features that we target for the patient, such as the patient could actually view their reports there in a user-friendly way. The patient, if the report is yet to be generated or is being updated, they can actually track the report progress there as well. And on top of that, I mentioned before, there are some features that can be used for general public. And one of such feature is actually medication reminder. You can actually set a daily medication reminder for the drugs that you're taking right now, as well as you can track the mood that you have while taking the drug or going to the therapy, and you can look back at it through our trending graphs to know how your therapy has progressed in the months or in the years. And the tamoxifen study itself is actually a 3-year study. So, and every year we are planning to give like a clinically validated survey. It's called the Functional Assessment of Cancer Therapy for Endocrine System, or FACT-ES in short. And we are actually launching this survey in mobile app end of this month, in fact, soon. So that the patient could actually input how the therapy has affected their quality of life, how it has been effective or maybe not, via the mobile app. And our patient care manager will actually take a look at the data and do necessary follow-up for these patients. So it's a very personalized kind of care for our patient that we hope will increase their clinical health outcome at a lower cost in the future. And some of the things that we make so that the patients could access the app easier is also the app supports 2 languages, which is Indonesian and English.
Great. Wow. Thank you so much for explaining all that. So yeah, thank you for also touching upon the fact that that our app is not only limited to use only for people who have taken our test, and that is for them to view the reports in the convenience of a mobile app. But also, if you haven't really decided on purchasing the test, or you just want an app that will help you to track sort of your medications and give reminders, that you can do that also. And the third population is for our research group. So as you mentioned, is for the FACT-ES survey that they can take by the app as well. Great. So a number of use cases there. And you mentioned earlier that one of the 3 pillars is CDS, and the app is linked to CDS as well. So maybe for people who don't know what CDS is, can you sort of briefly explain what it is and how it's sort of linked to the app?
Yeah, I've mentioned before that through the PHM, patients could actually view their genetic test report, and where does this PGX or pharmacogenetics report actually being processed and being analyzed is actually by the CDS or clinical decision support. in essence, at this point in time, it is an ordering platform for all our pharmacogenomics tests as well as our COVID-19 tests. The users of CDS is actually quite a wide range. It could be doctors, it could be like hospital admins, and also lab. So some of the key use cases we are heavily using right now in the CDS includes like approving order, track the sample progress, and researchers, the lab technicians to actually upload and automatically process the data using the bioinformatics script that we have developed in-house. And for the doctors, they can also review the generated report and download it for future references. And just to add on that, for doctors who are registered in CDS, they also have access to our physician mobile app. I think the way you download it is the same as you download the patient mobile app, but you log in using your physician credentials that have been registered in the CDS. And from the mobile app, you can even do the use cases that you're doing in the CDS, such as reviewing and downloading and viewing report. And on top of that, the physician mobile app also have drug interaction checker that would be useful.
Wow. Yeah, sounds like CDS, like you said, can be used for have multiple purposes and uses. And you mentioned for pharmacogenomic tests, so it helps sort of the admin and the doctors to input their patient clinical details, and for lab personnels for both the pharmacogenomic and COVID tests, so they can upload the results and input the sample number as well. And for report generation, I think it's also a tool, right, used by the product manager to generate the report, and the doctors and the patients can download their reports via CDS, and then it's linked to the mobile app as well, which is called PHM, like you mentioned before, right? Yeah, great. All right, and I think you touched upon the 2FA and the data privacy. Maybe can you expand a little bit more about how Nala is making sure that all the data, the very sensitive information, are being kept safe?
Yeah, very good question on that. As you know, the challenges for digital health applications these days revolve around patient data privacy and safety. So from Nalagenetics, we adopted a few international standards to ensure to safeguard the patient data. So the first standard that we adopt is actually the ISO 13485, which is the quality management system standard for medical devices. We are actually ISO compliant for that. And the purpose of it is to ensure that the features that we roll out to patients meet the highest quality standard because it deals with their personal health information. And on top of that, we also adopt the ISO 27001 information security standard. We are compliant to that as well. And as a matter of fact, every year we do an annual VAPT test, which is a kind of cybersecurity assessment by a consultant to identify and fix vulnerabilities. Like the last thing you want is for our patient data to be leaked in a cybersecurity attack, which we see more and more often in the news these days. Last but not least, Nalagenetics also has a strong privacy commitment. We are compliant to the PDPA standard in Singapore, which is the Personal Data Protection Act, where user can rest assured that their data is safe with us. We do not share it with any third party without their consent, and they can also opt to delete their data if they want to at any point in time. We are also HIPAA compliant, which is I think the most commonly used standard in the US itself for protection of personal health information of patients.
Wow. See, it sounds like there are all these international standards that we are compliant with, and we take data privacy very seriously, as we should. As a biotech sort of startup company dealing with genetic information and sort of patient personal details that they've have kindly and interested us to do so. So it's great to hear all of that. And finally, maybe as a closing remark, like I just want to know what your hopes are for the development of this app in the future, and what you're hoping this app will achieve or help others.
So it goes back to the mission of Nalagenetics, which is to make personalized care available for all. So I do hope in the near and in the long future, the personal health manager app could build on the patient engagement and deliver more values to greater patient groups beyond the initial tamoxifen user study groups that we have. And some of the features we are thinking of rolling out, including Nala content, which is a reliable source of information for patient to understand more about health, wellness in general, or about the condition in general. And things like Nala chat to actually allow them to chat with our patient care manager in moments that really matter, and things like symptom checker. So we do hope increasingly we could give more value for them to make sure that their care is personalized, and in the end, it resulted in a better clinical health outcome at lower cost.
Great, thank you so much for that. Yeah, we do hope that this can empower people to sort of have better health outcomes, as well as to sort of engage and have more agency over their own health, and to equip doctors to be more aware of the development in sort of the genetic area. And so thank you so much, Ping, for developing this app and for sharing with us all the details about how this better our company and provided added value for our customers, doctors and patients alike. And we hope that you found this useful. If you ever want to download the app, please feel free to do so via the QR code and the links that Ping has mentioned before. And so we hope that this has been useful. Thank you for tuning in, and see you on the next episode of NalaTalk.
Thank you. Thanks, Esther.